Hi. So today you're just going to chill with me during my workout while I practice just conversationally addressing camera, talking about my day, and actually continuing my workout routine. So, today was a very interesting day. I actually was able to, for the first time, go into the SAG-AFTRA offices downtown because I had an in-person casting. Yay. This is the first time that this has ever happened. This was with the casting studio. I think it was 4242 Casting. I got to meet the casting director and the casting associate as well. They were both lovely. And this was for a Kroger ad and a Ralph's ad that I found on casting networks. As far as the line read, it was simple. It was only like a sentence or two. That's not the thing that got me the most. This is something that I got to contemplate as I was coming home, right? I'm taking acting classes at the Stella Adler Academy. They're absolutely beautiful classes. I love my teachers, love my instructors, love the chance to get to work on my craft. But one thing that Stella Adler School is very insistent about is what I believe to be a perfectly legitimate course, which is learning how to play your instrument. Learning how to play your instrument is very different than learning how to perform with your instrument, which is very different than learning how to audition with your instrument. Those are very different concepts. And for today's audition in person, it was just two people. It was the casting director as well as the cinematographer. And then it was four people who were on Zoom. The director was on Zoom, two executive producers, and then a fourth party. And when I went in, I read the line perfectly. They're looking for a commercial like everybody and their mom wants a commercial right now. Just a personable read, right? The thing about it is, you know how when somebody says something and you can just feel their nervous energy? You can just feel that they're generally anxious. They don't say anything that's necessarily bad, and they don't say anything wrong, but you just get like nervous for them. I guess that's the best way to describe it. That is kind of how I felt for the first few minutes. And as an actor, nerves are fine. Nerves are to be expected. As an artist, nerves are to be expected. They're necessary. They're necessary when you're doing this. I have been in the music industry as a professional performer for 18 years of my life, playing in pit orchestras, classical orchestras, pop ensembles, wind symphonies. I've ran a trio, a quartet, a quintet, playing not professional, music produced specifically for me on the rarest of instruments, clarinets. And those nerves never go away, even after 18 years. Every time I had to play a solo, I was extremely nervous about playing that solo. Like, that doesn't stop. But the difference is, does that nervousness come through in your sound? Right? I never let those nerves come through in my actual performance. It was felt in my body, but not in my rendition of a performance. I feel like that's kind of where I let go of the plot today. I was asked to do the line read, and then asked just 4 general questions about myself. For the first question about myself, that's where I feel like I've really let that nervousness slip away, or slip in, which gives rise to the second point of this whole conversation, which is you need to know your elevator pitch. You need to know it left, right, and center. You need to know it up and down the street. You need to know it because your story, your life story, can only be told by you. And when it is asked, it is your perfect opportunity to present it. I think I did a pretty good job presenting that life story, which was the first question. But there was a nervous energy that came through that I feel like could be felt in the room. Now, for the next couple of questions, I dialed it in, right? You get more comfortable, you start to have a laugh, and really things start to get a lot easier from there. That's what happened with the next couple of questions. But at the beginning, I felt like the nervousness really started to just come in. As we were going through, this is something that you can only I guess, really learn by doing. You can't learn how to perform under nerves without infusing your performance with that nervous energy by doing anything else other than simply performing. Like, there's no shot. I probably need to work on a steak a bit more, but I think I lock in on A. Got to lock on A and I'm working on B. Okay. Excuse me. That's my scene partner for today's exercise. So the only way that you can really go about working without infusing something with that nervous energy is to actually go about doing it. And go about doing it in a way that actually has real stakes. Or at least perceived stakes, right? Like you're doing something for a grade. It doesn't have to be for a job. You don't want to practice on somebody else's job, but you do want it to have an air of this is something more than just, hey, these are just classmates and, I'm just performing for the sake of performing. That's one thing. That's learning how to perform, which is important. But that's not learning how to audition. There's a completely different nervous energy that you get when you start to go in front of people that you believe or perceive to have something that you want. It's a completely different type of feeling. So, that's something... Oh, God. That's something that I really want to get out there today. But that is really the main part of my day this morning. Aside from that, I have school this afternoon where we're putting together a scene. And this is something that you guys, viewers, can also do at home. Put together scenes. Practice stuff. Find peers, people who are also doing this. Put together scenes and work through scenes. Our prompt for today's class is that basically the night before or the day after, right? You have been acquainted with somebody, whether that be sexually, platonically, familially, it doesn't really matter, but you have a deep relationship with your scene partner. Something happened the night before, something big, something that caused a seismic shift in your relationship, something absolutely huge. And you come in, the only thing that's guaranteed is you're sitting, or it's a kitchen, that's your scene. There's a kitchen table, and you come in, partner character A walks in and delivers the lines that are there. Those lines go something like, hey, you want a cup of coffee? Sure. You want a donut? No. Muffin? No. Other blank pastry? No. Oh, it's raining outside. Yeah. What are you going to do today? I don't know. And then one of them leaves, right? That's it. That's the only thing. It is up to you to fill in those gaps and find what drives you. Based on the story that you create, what is your motivating factor? What is the key thing that drives you throughout the scene? These are things that you can practice with your peers, with a community that you find and that you build. And I'm not saying that's the easiest thing in the world. Trust me. Coming down here was a big change and a big shift for my wife and I. And I'm just lucky and blessed enough that we were able to take advantage of the situation and come down here so that I could take classes. But even with the taking of the classes, that doesn't mean that you'll do the hard work in order to meet your peers, in order to talk with them, in order to actually build a real foundational relationship with them. So one of the things that I always like to stress is find your community. And you don't always need to strive upwards for your community. You can reach for the people beside you. This is cheesy, I know. So that you can start to work upwards together. We start with the people who are beside us so that we can all work upwards. It's not always about networking with that agent, with that casting director, with that cinematographer. Sometimes it's just about reaching for the peers that are next to you so that you guys can learn and work together. Because there are countless examples of people who thought they wanted to be an actor, they didn't. but they still want to work in the entertainment industry. So they go and they become a casting director. Yay, now you have an in with somebody who already knows your skills, already knows who you are, likes you or doesn't like you, depending on that relationship. And that's great, because you worked with somebody. It's not always about working with people who can get you something. Sometimes that something is simply being a part of a community. I don't always know what I'm doing with these straps, so don't judge me if I'm being ridiculous with this one. So, make sure, yeah, that works. Make sure that you're not only working upwards. Go to conventions. You can go to South by Southwest, go to South by Southwest. You'll meet other people. If you can go to, the only ones I really know off the top of my head are ones related to voiceover. So if you can go to VO Atlanta, if you can go to Sovas, if you can go to any of these, Mid VO, if you can go to, there's a trip that takes you to Costa Rica every year, I believe. They might go different places, but go. Meet people. Chat with people. Meet friends and peers in these circles, because these are the people who you're going to work with, hopefully. Aside from that, I think at this point I'm just rambling. I'm going to finish my workout here. I still have to do the Oculus, do like about a 35-minute one. My classmate is going to be getting down at 3. I'm probably going to be getting there at around 5. Class starts at 6 so that we can start putting stuff together. There's another storm coming to LA, so with all the burned areas and the topography is solid because there's been a drought. So there's been a lot of water issues with the current rain, so that's why I'm getting a bunch of text messages. But other than that, stay safe, stay creative. Thanks for joining me in this weird workout / talk, whatever this is. And I'll catch you in the next one.